This is the second video for addition and subtraction. In the first video, we talked specifically about addition computation strategies, and in this video, we're going to talk about subtraction computation strategies. The TEKS we're focusing on are 3.4a and 3.5a, both readiness standards. And once again, we take a look at that prior knowledge that students have. Once again, they've been working on subtraction since kindergarten. They start very basic with how do I separate, separating a set to represent subtraction. Then they work in first grade over subtraction strategies. And then in second grade, that's when they do subtraction with 2-digit and 3-digit numbers. So just like addition, like we talked about in our first video, for subtraction, we've got to make sure that we are teaching it concretely, pictorially, and abstractly. And we are using that progression to help students build that conceptual understanding. And once again, the standard algorithm for subtraction does not have to be mastered until 4th grade. So this, once again, is a teaching year. We're going to use whichever flexible strategy that students need to use to be able to compute effectively. So let's get started back with our base 10 blocks. Once again, we are going to start concretely. And for subtraction, when you're doing the base 10 mat, you only put the number that you're subtracting from, okay? So for instance, I'm going to put 300, see if I can get this to fit, 320 or 342. All right, I'm going to put 342 on my mat. So like we did in addition, you can always go ahead and have students draw the base 10 picture. And I'm going to do 342 minus 126. Okay. So once again, we start with the ones place, and we need to take away 6 ones. I don't have 6 ones, okay? So I have to regroup and take one of these 10s, and I can move it over there for right now. And we're going to talk to students about how we need to break it up into individual units. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let's see. I think that's 10. I don't know why my 10 looks much bigger than this 10, but it does. All right, so we're breaking it up into 10 ones. As I said, you can always go ahead and have students represent it this way because it looks like a base, like a 10 frame model. Okay. So, how many ones do I now have? So I took away a 10 and I made it into 10 ones. I took away a 10, so I only have 3 10s left, and I now have 12 ones. All right, so now I can take away 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I have 6 left. I can take away 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 left. 12 minus 6 is 6. All right, now I need to take away 2 10s. So I can easily do that on my mat. I can easily do that on my base 10 picture. I'm left with 1 10. 3 minus 2 is 1. And then I can take away 100. So I can take away 100. So that leaves me with 2 hundreds. 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay. So concretely, we're going to work with base 10 blocks and a base 10 mat to do subtraction. We can have students do those base 10 pictures for pictorially doing subtraction. And then of course we have our most abstract way to subtract, which is our standard algorithm. Okay. You can have students do these two at their desk, and then you, the teacher, do this for a while until you get there. But since they've done it in 2nd grade, they should have some understanding of it, so you really could do all 3 together. Okay? All right, so what about, so we've done concrete with base 10, we've done pictorial base 10 pictures. Now, let's look at our pictorial open number line for subtraction. So I'm going to do 417 minus 273. Okay, there are 2 different number lines that I can do here. I can have students count on. So I can start with 273 and then get to 417. Okay? So students would do jumps that were comfortable for them. Okay? So they could do jumps of 100 here, and I'll do that. So I'm going to add 100 to this because I know 273 plus 100 is 373. Can I do another jump of 100? If I do that, I get 473, which is way more than 417. So I can't do that. Then I can try to get to a friendly number. So if I have 373 and I want to get to 380, I'm going to add 7 more. And then I can add 20 because I know 380 plus 20 is 400. Then I could do a jump of 10, which is 410, and a jump of 7, which is 417. And that is the number that I'm looking for. So to find out my answer, I have to add up the jumps that I did. Okay, so I have 107, I have 20, 37, and that gives me 144 is my answer. Okay, so this is our count on strategy for open number line. Okay, all right, so I could do the opposite, which is our count back strategy. And on this one, I sometimes think it's easier because I can kind of teach it with base 10 right away if I need to, because I know I need to take away 273. So if I'm starting out, I can go ahead and have those pieces here. Like this. Okay. So on this one I can say, all right, I'm at 417, but I need to take away this amount. So let's say I want to take away this first 100. 417 minus 100 is 317. Okay. All right, so I have 173 left, so I'm going to take off this next 100. So 317 minus 100 is 217. Then I'm going to take away, I can take a 10 away. So 217 is 207. And right here, I would talk about the kids about, well, I want to take away 7. I can do that. Or I can go ahead and take away another 10. Remember, it's however the students need to do it. But if I'm first learning out, I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I take away another 10, it's hard for me to say that's going to be 197. So I'm going to take one of these 10s and I'm going to break it up into 1s because I want to get to a more friendly number. Bear with me as I get these little 1s on here. Okay, so now I have 50, and then I have my 13 1s. So I can take away 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to take away 7. And that gives me 200. Now if I want to, I can take away all 50 of these at once because I know 200 minus 50 is 150. And then I can take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 150 minus 6 is 144. Okay? So this is my count back open number line strategy. Both are totally fine. I think the kids need to be taught how to do both so they can then make their decision about which way works best for them, or if neither one does, that's fine. But they need practice with it, so it's at least one of the strategies they have in their toolbox for subtraction. All right. So this is pictorial once again. So base 10 for concrete. Pictorial is your base 10 pictures and your open number lines. Then, right after open number lines, you can work with students on front end subtraction. Some people don't like that term, so they use expanded subtraction. Either way is fine. So we're going to do this problem here. Okay. So basically, expanded subtraction, front end subtraction, whatever you call it, is once again having students change these numbers in standard form and write them in expanded form. Okay, so we're subtracting these two. So 2 minus 1, I can't do it. So I have to take a 10, regroup a 10, and so that makes this 11 minus 2. Okay, so that of course is 9. Okay, 70 minus 30 is 40, and 400 minus 200 is 200. So my answer is 249. Okay, so that is expanded subtraction. As I said, some people call it front-end addition. I really don't have a preference. It was called expanded subtraction, but because teachers wanted to make sure students saw a connection with front-end addition, they like that front-end subtraction name as well. Next, the most abstract is your standard algorithm. Make sure when you're working with standard algorithm to do the blocks and the pictures with the standard algorithm, just like I showed you at the front of this video. I believe that is it. We are actually going to have an additional video. I know we said we would have 2, but we're actually going to have 3 and talk about addition and subtraction problem solving. So see you next time.